in the heart of the great forest where ancient trees whispered secrets to the wind. A strange unease had begun to stir. Erigib, the wise old elephant, the governor of the forest paths, felt it first. His large ears twitched, catching the worried chatter of the smaller creatures. Something was wrong. He'd seen it in the eyes of the weary travelers passing through his domain, a mix of awe and a faint, flickering fear. One morning, as the mist still clung to the leaves, a frantic monkey named Ego came scrambling down from the canopy. His fur was ruffled, and his eyes were wide with alarm. "Erigib, sir," he chattered, his voice trembling. "Something is not right. The hyena, he's up to his old tricks again, but this time it's different. It's bigger." Erigib, the elephant, stood as still as a mountain. "Tell me everything, Ego," Erigib said, his voice a low rumble that calmed the monkey's frantic energy. Ego took a deep breath. "They call him the Lion of the Crossroads. He's set up a court near the Whispering Falls. He's got a few of the more gullible jackals as his guards. He says he's the new ruler, that the old kingdom has fallen. He talks big, Erigib. He promises riches to those who follow him and threatens those who don't. But I saw him last night when the moon was hidden. His laugh. It wasn't a lion's roar. It was a hyena's cackle." Erigib nodded slowly. He knew this hyena as Sakwa, a creature whose ambition was far greater than his honor. He was known for his clever schemes and his ability to mimic others. But this was a new level of audacity, to impersonate the king, the true king. This was an insult to the very spirit of the forest. The elephant didn't waste another moment. He turned to the group of travelers who had gathered nearby, their faces etched with confusion and anxiety. They had paid tribute to this supposed lion, believing they were securing safe passage. "Gather yourselves," Erigib announced, his voice carrying the weight of authority without the need for a shout. "We are going to pay our respects to the one who truly wears the crown." A murmur went through the crowd, but "We already met the king," a weary merchant bird squawked. Erigib simply looked at him. "Did you?" he asked gently. "Or did you meet a convincing shadow? Come. The journey is necessary. The truth awaits." And so the procession began. Led by the mighty Erigib, the travelers' mix of monkeys, antelope, warthogs, and exotic birds moved through the dense jungle. They left the familiar paths and ventured deeper toward the sacred heart of the kingdom, a place many of them had only heard of in legends. The air grew still, charged with a palpable reverence. The sounds of the forest changed from a chaotic symphony to a hushed, respectful silence. Finally, they arrived. Before them was not a hastily built court of mud and sticks, but a colossal rock formation that seemed to rise from the earth itself. It was the lion's palace, a natural throne of granite that glowed warmly in the afternoon sun, and there, upon the highest ledge, sat the true Lion King, Ovan III. The travelers gasped. There was no need for grand announcements or flashy displays. The king's presence was enough. His mane was not just a prop. It was a magnificent cascade of gold and black, earned through seasons of wisdom and strength. His chest was broad, a testament to his power, yet his posture was relaxed, at ease, and his eyes were what truly held them captive. They were calm, deep, and clear, like a pristine river at dawn, reflecting the soul of the entire forest. As the travelers stood there, bathed in the silent, majestic aura of the real king, they understood. They looked at the true lion, then cast their minds back to the jumpy, loud, insecure creature they had met at the crossroads. They remembered the hyena's shifty eyes, his overdop roars that never quite sounded right, the way his guards were more like nervous accomplices. The deception was suddenly so painfully obvious. The packaging had been good, but the product was a fake. The real lion, Ovan Rahman III, finally spoke. His voice was not a boastful shout, but a calm, powerful resonance that seemed to come from the rock itself. In this kingdom, he said, his gaze sweeping over the humbled crowd, the throne is not won by a name that sounds similar. It is not earned through flashy packaging or clever tricks. It is not a prize for the loudest voice. The crown is a legacy of bloodline, of ancient tradition, and it is held firm by the blessings of our ancestors. The travelers fell to their knees as one, shame and relief washed over them. Great King, the merchant bird chirped, his voice now small and sincere. We did not know. We were fooled by lies and false promises. Forgive our ignorance. Ovan Rahman III simply nodded, a slow, deliberate movement. A lie can run for 1,000 miles, he said, his words echoing in the silent clearing. But truth will always catch it in the center of the village square. Your journey here has taught you a lesson that words alone could not rise. You are welcome in my kingdom, the real kingdom. A wave of gratitude swept through the travelers. They pledged their loyalty not with fear or obligation, but with genuine respect and admiration. They had seen the difference between a costume and a king, between a loud boast and quiet, unshakable authority. They had learned that true leadership doesn't need to shout its own name. Its presence speaks for itself. And as for Osak the hyena who played king, his charade was over. News of the traveler's journey to the true throne spread through the forest like wildfire. The animals who had been tricked, and even those who had been his accomplices, abandoned his makeshift court. He was left alone with his cheap props and his hollow ambition. The forest animals were now watching him, and in the great, sprawling narrative of the jungle, history has a way of remembering frauds, not as kings, but as cautionary tales. The truth, once revealed, had changed everything. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tales from the heart of the forest. We'll see you in the next video.